The United Nations, held hostage by Russia on Syria, trying to stay relevant. CBS News. News.com, CBS Evening News, CBS This Morning, 48 hours, 60 minutes, Sunday morning, Face the Nation. Video. U.S. World. Politics. Entertainment. Health. Money Watch. C-Tech. Crime. Sports. More. Blogs. The feed battleground. The WH. Web show 60 overtime face-to-face. Resources. Mobile radio local. Login. Join news.com. Sign in with profile. Manage my newsletter subscriptions. Update my email address. Change my password. Log out. Syria crisis. Explore. Latest. Foreign intervention. Chemical weapons. Humanitarian crisis. Brev. Next. By Pamela Falk, CBS News /September 5, 2013, 3:12 p.m. The United Nations, held hostage by Russia on Syria, trying to stay relevant. U.S. Ambassador Samantha Power speaks at the United Nations, September 5, 2013. CBS/Pamela Falk. United Nations U.S. United Nations Ambassador Samantha Power, a long-time passionate advocate for humanitarian intervention, is playing a spirited role at UN headquarters in a bid to convince Security Council members about the need for the U.S. strike. On Thursday, as President Obama arrived at the G20 meeting in St. Petersburg, she held a briefing at the U.S. mission with UN Security Council member nations, along with some other interested states, to give them an unclassified briefing on the U.S. intelligence regarding the responsibility of the government of Bashar al-Assad in the chemical weapons attack in a Damascus suburb on August 21. We in the U.S. agree that at times like this, the Security Council should live up to its obligations and act, she said. Play video. Obama, Syrian chemical attack must be addressed. Play video. UN warns strike on Syria may lead to more turmoil. Russia's President Vladimir Putin raised expectations this week, when he said that he would not exclude the possibility of Security Council action, if the United States showed definitive proof that the Assad government was responsible. At the G20 on Thursday, UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, who has pleaded with the international community to wait until the UN Weapons Inspector's report is complete and to find a consensus, met briefly with Mr. Obama. The Secretary General from St. Petersburg called for a political solution and, through his spokesperson, said that the Joint Special Representative for Syria, Lakhdar Brahimi, is on his way to Russia to help impress world leaders for an international conference on Syria. The Secretary General implored world leaders to avoid a military response. While the world is focused on concerns about the possible use of chemical weapons in Syria, we must push even harder for the international conference in Syria to take place in Geneva, Ban said. A political solution is the only way to end the bloodshed in Syria. But, as the G20 opened, the rhetoric between the US and Russia turned sour, with the Russian president calling Secretary of State John Kerry a liar. Back at the UN, after days of intense negotiations, President Obama's UN ambassador was no holds barred when asked by CBS News about Putin's comment that Russia just needs proof. Russia continues to hold the council hostage and shirk its international responsibility, including as party to a chemical weapons convention, Power said. She was equally scornful of the UN Security Council, listing all the efforts at the council in which condemnation and use of force was proposed by the US and the UK. Instead, Power said, the system has protected the prerogatives of Russia, the patron of a regime that would brazenly stage the world's largest chemical weapons attack in a quarter century, while UN inspectors were across town. Will the UN be relevant and able to support a council resolution or sponsor an international settlement between the Syrian rebels and the opposition? Not likely, say UN diplomats, if even the US and Russian president can't even agree